How's it going, everybody? I had my Disney College program phone interview today, and I'm super excited. So, I want to help all of you out who are thinking about applying to the Disney College program. So, here are some of the questions they asked me. They kind of confirm about what your schooling, education, and background is, and that all your information is correct. And then they asked me if I had lived in a residence hall and if I had had roommates, and then they kind of go off a little bit more about that based on your answer. They had asked me if I had ever had issues and how I resolved them. They also asked if I had ever lived with an international student or anybody who is out of the country, and if I had or had not, how would I feel if I was living with them, and that living in the housing accommodations for Disney would require about 1 to 7 roommates. On the topic of housing, they asked me if I had a car. I actually was on public transportation commuting from work as he called. So, since he already knew I was using public transportation, he just told me that it's recommended I take public transportation, but it didn't seem like it would be a problem for me because I was already taking public transportation from work. He started to ask me things more or less towards how Disney can benefit me and how someone in the Disney College program can benefit from any career. I had basically said to that question that I'm a recreation major and Disney is all about recreation and having fun. I told him that it would really benefit me in terms of being relational and making sure that I am getting really great experience of being around others. They asked me if I'd be willing to work indoors or outdoors because they can't guarantee that you'll get a preference. And I said yes, I would be willing to because I don't mind the heat and I don't mind the cold. And they also asked if you're willing to, you know, stand up a lot because you won't really be able to sit down too often. And I said, yes, I am willing to work standing up all the time because I have walked Disneyland without sitting down and I didn't have any problems. By now, they started to get a lot more into specifics about the roles that you had placed as your preference. And he noted that I had placed retail and food and beverage as well as PhotoPass as my preferences. So he asked a little bit more information about those items. Most of the questions were centered around how comfortable you are talking to customers. Am I okay with working with chemicals in terms of cleaning? One of the more crucial questions that was asked was if you can work in a fast-paced environment. I would really recommend for this question to give an example of a time that you had been able to prioritize tasks really well and make sure that everything was done in the correct order and how you would prioritize it. So that's generally how my interview went because after all of those questions were asked, he said the next steps would be that they will notify me if I get it accepted or I get declined by the end of March, and to keep checking my dashboard, which is the notification system for Disney, and that if I had any questions for him, now would be the time to ask. So my questions for him was mostly how did he get involved with Disney and how did he like the Disney College program when he did it. As a whole, it was a pretty short interview, but it was a really great experience. I hope that for all of you who are thinking about applying, that this video helped you guys a little bit in terms of preparing for the questions. And just be prepared that there's probably going to be some questions that obviously were not asked. And make sure that you just have a great time, be yourself, and good luck on your interviews, everybody!